Oh, here I go.
All right, welcome everyone. Happy New Year. Today is January 20th. This is the first meeting of council in the year 2026. Please stand as you are able to express our unity of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Mr. Barron?
Here.
Mr. Fisher?
Here.
Ms. Chesser?
Yep.
Ms. Fisher, Dr. Fisher?
Here.
Ms. Kramer?
Yes.
Mr. Michelson?
Here. Excellent. So with the agenda, I've asked for two corrections on it. One has to do with the bottom of the agenda where it states that we're going into executive session. Our legal counsel has stated that we should cite the ORC code name for that. And so I've asked that that be changed. Additionally, to add a discussion of the appointment, employment, and compensation of a public employee or official. So that full statement will now read if the amendment is approved. Executive session for purposes allowed under ORC 121.22 G1 and G2, specifically to discuss the appointment, employment, and compensation of a public employee or official, as well as for pending litigation. Then the other one that I have as under the village administrator's report, that has been changed to just say Mr. Goodenough there and not have the title associated with it. This is something that we'll be discussing in one executive session.
David is also listed as the mayor.
Correct.
I've corrected that.
Great.
So are there any other amendments needed to the agenda? If not, do I have a motion to pass the agenda as amended?
We pass the agenda as amended.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Without objection, I'll take that as unanimous. Thank you. So we have minutes to approve. So we will look at the first, which is October 27th. Any corrections needed on that one?
Our resident's name is misspelled. It should be D-A-N-I.
Any late?
Mhm.
Where is it?
Person registered to address council,
The first line in there.
Yep.
Oh, interesting.
Miss Danny Layton.
Okay.
Any other amendments to that one? We look at the next one as well. We could pass them both together. On the December ones, there, Mr. Fisher is listed as the mayor again. So I ask that that be changed. Any other corrections to the December minutes? And if not, is there a motion to accept the minutes for as amended for October and December?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as amended for October and December. Yeah, October and December.
I second.
1.5 second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Without objection, I'll take that as unanimous. All right. I think we are at our fire district report. Chief Leader.
Well, Happy New Year, everybody.
New Year.
Hope you're all dealing with the wonderful weather we're in the midst of.
Cold weather's fights fires, right?
Sure, it makes it miserable. fighting fires. So, but knock on wood, though, we haven't had a lot of fires. It's been a lot more EMS, which we discussed over the last couple of years is very typical for not just us, but a lot of the county departments. So for the year, the first rough cut of numbers that I have, we made 663 calls to Gulf Manor in 2025, which is about the average that we've seen over the last several years. So nothing crazy or unexpected there. I'm going through and collating our numbers, verifying that we have all the runs in. I work with a couple of reporting programs, so I get different numbers all the time. So it takes me about a month to get my final report done. So the early part of February, I get that out to the fire board, and then as always, I send the copy down, usually to the manager. I'll send it to Britnoff and get it in so you guys can have access to it as well. Again, it doesn't detail everything we do on a day in, day out basis, but I think it shows a good representation of what you can kind of see us do throughout the year. I do want to point out we had a call back in December around the holidays. The crew got in. It was ended up being a carbon monoxide detector. Went off. No carbon monoxide. It was really not a big issue. But they did notice that the family had no furniture in the house, just beds on the floor, just mattresses. And the crew started kind of asking some questions, and they found that the resident had just moved in. It's a single mother and 3 children. So the guys kind of, it's holiday season, they kind of bothered them a little bit. They were well cared for. They had food, but they just didn't have furniture. So they reached out to a company. It's a charity called Sleep in Heavenly Peace. They provide bed frames, mattresses, bedding, new pillows, sheets as part of their mission to make sure that kids aren't sleeping on floors like that. So one of my firefighters reached out, got in contact with that company. They sent some volunteers out, and then on Martin Luther King Day, we were over in Canterbury. If anybody saw some trucks there for no random reason, put the beds together, helped the family out. They were very grateful for it. So that's just something I'd like to congratulate my crews for seeing something in the community that they had. At least if we couldn't help right away, we at least knew where to go to direct and get some services. So they try to be aware of that as we come into the homes, because a lot of times we or the police department sees things that nobody else sees when they just walk by. So kudos to my guys for realizing that. And it's something that we do for all of our communities, but I just wanted to pass it on so you guys were aware that, they're looking out for the community as much as they are ours. So we're really proud of them for that. Other than that, if you'd like, I'll make sure I pass that information along to you too, in case you guys see something. It's great. All we have to do in return is to help them build some frames this spring. So we're happy to trade our services for it. So, but other than that, I have nothing really major on the front for this year. I'll be in touch with Mr. Britnoff here shortly on some discussions about the future contract with the village and with the fire district. We had a few meetings. We've got some clarification, some information that I'll present to you. Should have something, I'm hoping, by the end of this week. So I'll be in touch. Staffing wise, we're in the process of hiring for the gentleman that went back to Kentucky last year. We hope to have somebody in his place by mid-February. And the word on the street is that our ambulance should be in sometime in March or April. That's the second one we ordered. So the first one, you guys might have seen it around the village here. It's worked out great. The crews love it. We like having the new equipment. The next one is coming here a little sooner than we thought, but again, it'll be nice to have good new equipment for everybody here. So especially these are 4-wheel drive vehicles. So when the snow hits us, it's a little bit easier to get around town and down to the hospital and whatnot. So, but other than that, there's really no major things on the horizon for us that we're anticipating. We always know how that goes, but as always, if you have questions, council members, residents, you're free to reach out to me and I'll help you out as best I can.
Excellent. Thank you. Any questions for Shafir?
Thank you.
Thank your team for their great work with
Yeah.
the family. That's
I
incredible.
will. It's one of the things we sometimes you fight kind of, beating your own chest, but I think it's good to recognize that the crew saw things and did it without me even knowing. They took it by the bull by the horns and it got it done. I was really proud of them. So
Really awesome.
it's a good group we have over there. So
Mhm.
I'm proud of them.
It sounds like they were also able to support without judgment. The family.
And that's part of kind of what we have to do with our job, right? It's everybody is, when they call us or they call the department, or call it either the council, they have needs. And so that's what we're here for, is to try to best serve them. So that's what we've been doing for 26 years now, almost 27. So we're proud of it.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good evening. Happy New Year.
Me too.
All right, I've got 3 items in my mayor's report. So first off, welcome to all the newly elected officials. 4 of our 6 council members are newly elected officials. At your swearing-in ceremony, I thank you for your willingness to serve the residents of Gulf Manor. I want to bring to your attention that registration is open for the Ohio Municipal League's newly elected council seminar trainings. These are said to be designed, quote, to prepare local leaders for the issues and responsibilities they manage as municipal officials and assist in navigating the successful management of their communities. Veteran council members and other municipal officials are also welcome to attend. Seminars take place February 7th in Cincinnati. If you can't make it to the Cincinnati one, they have one in Columbus as well on the 21st. If you can't make it to either of those, you have to go all the way up to Cleveland. That one is on March 7th.
Please repeat those dates once more.
February 7th in Cincinnati, 21st in Columbus, and March 7th in Cleveland. I have the registration link as well, and I can send that all to you if you can't find it on Google. Second, I have an update on the retirement of our village administrator, Ron Hurth. We received notification that Mr. Hurth designated the 31st of December 2025 as his official date of retirement from the village. I want to thank him for his years of service. As I stated at our December meeting, I'll be having a ceremony during the first quarter of 2026 to recognize and celebrate the contributions of individuals who have served the village as elected officials and have not been otherwise recognized by proclamation for those contributions. Mr. Hurth will be among these. I've already accepted his resignation, but will do so here as well on the record, and likewise ask that council also record acceptance of his resignation by a majority affirmative vote. This was at the request of our council. Is there a motion?
Motion
To officially accept his retirement.
What does that have to do with?
I'll defer to
I'm happy to explain some now and some later as well, but basically on our Ohio employment law, when an employee resigns, technically speaking, they can take it back at any point unless and until the involved governing body accepts the resignation. So it's more a formality to just make it a permanent thing. Yes, you're doing it, and yes, we agree to it, we're accepting it. So it's just to basically confirm that he's no longer employed.
I move for council to accept Mr. Hurth's resignation as village administrator.
Is there a second?
I second.
Is there any ramifications on any of the legal?
We can talk about that in executive session if you'd like, but both as it relates to the villages and Mr. Hurst's legal positions as it relates to his personnel kind of matter that he's got with the village, there's no legal ramifications. We're stated differently, there's no downside to doing this, there's only upside.
Can I do this by voice vote or?
No, roll call yes, but oral motion memorialized in the minutes.
So we have the first and second roll call, please.
Mr. Barron?
Yes.
Mr. Fisher?
Yes.
Ms. Chesser?
Yep.
Dr. Fisher?
Yep.
Ms. Crimer?
Yes.
Mr. Michelson?
Yes.
All right, excellent, thank you. Third, and this is a lengthy one concerning open seats for appointment on our committees and village commissions. We'll deal with the committees first and then the village commissions. First off, one change on the finance committee appointments, maybe 2 down the line. Switching out the chair, I spoke with David and with Zach, and they're interested in switching the chair over to Mr. Michelson. So I'm agreeable to that. I learned tonight that I'll need to reach out to Darren Dahl, who was our resident member of the finance committee. I was not aware that his status as a resident to a business resident had changed, nor that there may be some attendance issues. So I'll reach out to him. But as things stand, the current appointments are Zach Michelson, Chair, David Fisher, Brittany Crimer, Glenn Chesser, and Darren Dahl. I I have one change to the executive committee appointments, adding Councilman Brett Barron to the open council seat vacated by mixed mail. So those current appointments are Brittany Primer, Chair, Dr. Mena Fisher, David Fisher, Danny Knipp, President, and Brett Barron. I am disbanding the Community and Economic Development Committee. They get enough volunteers from the council or the community to fill it. The objectives of the committee will revert back to administration, which is basically make recommendations to the mayor about community and economic development opportunities. There's one open seat on the Community Engagement Committee, and I'll be adding resident Amy Cooley, who has an extensive background in communication strategies. All right. I'll be elevating her to the chair of that committee, filling the spot vacated by former councilperson Mayo. This isn't the first time I've had a resident serve as the chair of this committee. Last time I did it went really well, and I fully expect that the same will be this time. So current appointments are Amy Cooley, resident chair, Gwen Chesser, Dr. Mena Fisher, Phyllis Thomas, resident, Kevin Thompson, resident, and I have a potential replacement for Kevin if he doesn't confirm that he wants to stay in that position.
I believe he was removed by the committee because he had not been attending.
Okay. So I have Susan Ramsey, who has stated her interest in that. I told her if that was indeed the case, that would circle back with her on that. Concerning commissions, however, we have 3 that have open seats that council will need to appoint. All right. The Recreation Commission has 2 open seats. I've had a number of residents that have approached me about their interest, including Amy Cooley and Susan Ramsey. Susan was going to be here tonight with Amy. Amy is here. Susan couldn't make it because she wasn't feeling well. She's sick. So I'm hoping that that maybe Amy will be able to tell you a little bit about Susan to the degree that you don't already know Ms. Ramsey. So I'll ask Amy to tell you a little bit about herself and give council members an opportunity to ask any questions they have. And then I'll ask if there's a motion to nominate them to the Recreation Commission.
Well, thank you for letting me come into this great place. I'm a teacher at Cincinnati Public. My 40 years in school teaching math, and I retired this year. So a lot of engagement things and all kinds of community stuff I'm pretty good at, just because I did a lot of teaching and I'm a mover and shaker, so I like to kind of do stuff, a lot of activities. Also, I worked with Nick Veer on the bringing the Olympics in 2012. And so, of course, we didn't get the Olympic bid, but it was a great experience of bringing something so cool here. So that's really what I do. I'm retiring. I want to put all my energy into something great. I love it here. I love all people I've met. Everyone is so cool. And I think you know Susan pretty well. Susan's been a pretty staple in the community. And so she's ready now. So we're both here to help. So any questions?
What's something you're most excited about working on?
Well, I don't know yet because I'm new, but all you have to do is just, put something here and we'll work on it, with anything. I do have a big background in athletics. So any kind of athletics or bringing the community together with athletics somehow, it'd be really great, for the kids. And, we have a lot, it would just be, a great facility too. We have a great place here and a lot of cool stuff. So I just, whenever you give me something, I hopefully listen. I'm a good listener and I got a lot of energy. That's important, right?
That's great.
Yes. Any others? Questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'll ask if there's a motion to nominate Susan Ramsey and Amy Cooley to the Recreation Commission.
Motion to nominate Amy Cooley and Susan Ramsey to Recreation Commission.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so the current appointments are Danny Nate as chair, Julia Poe as vice chair, Phyllis Thomas as secretary, Pat Lazenell, Elaine Moskowitz, Beth Meets, Calvin Nelms, Amy Cooley, and Susan Ramsey, our members of Recreation. Thank you for your service, Amy.
Thank you.
Now, the Village Human Rights Commission, which was created by referendum, has staggered seats on it such that every year there are members whose terms expire and every year there are open seats to be appointed by council. The current chair of the commission is Reverend Jim Clark. This commission acts independently of the administration, and frankly, I don't know whose seats have expired on the commission. I believe the minutes from the first meeting of 2024 or 2025 recorded the length of time of each member appointed that year. So I'll suggest that Mr. Clark track down those minutes and report to council how many open seats they have and whether any expired seats were held by individuals interested in being reappointed by council. I'll further direct our community engagement committee members to get the word out about how many seats are open. As soon as I have that information, I'm hoping that we'll get this all updated at our next council meeting. Planning Commission has at least one open seat that I'm aware of. The seat was vacated when former councilperson McSmail's term ended in December. I believe this particular seat must be filled by a council member and be confirmed by council. So unless there are any immediate volunteers to accept the nomination, I'd ask each council member to take the role into consideration between now and our next full council meeting. I'm certainly willing to relook at committee assignments if anyone is interested in serving on the Planning Commission but fears the workload of their current committee service would prevent them from doing so. Are there any immediate volunteers to serve on the Planning Commission?
No.
I'd be interested. I'd be open to it.
Excellent.
Not sure exactly what it entails, but I'm interested.
I can teach you.
Awesome. So would anyone like to make the nomination?
I move to nominate Councilman Barron as the chair of the, or as a member,
Correct.
as a member of the Planning Commission.
Excellent. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Excellent.
Don't say that.
He's joking.
I'm joking. Maybe like.
We used to have a school liaison. Are we bringing that back?
We have not had that in quite a while. It has.
Since Sharon
remained-
resigned, yeah.
Right. Yeah, she had said that she was interested in continuing to serve in several capacities, but that has not panned out. So no, but I would put that under community engagement. I would think that would make a lot of sense as far as reaching out. So if you're interested in
No.
those kind of reports, I wasn't asking for, I figured you're already maxed out. But if you're interested in someone taking on that position, I can certainly speak to community engagement and see what they're.
It's less of me being interested. It's more you were just bringing up old things that we haven't talked about in a long time. Like Human Rights Commission hasn't had a full seated commission and since I've started. So that's the only reason I was asking.
Right.
If we were gonna bring back all the old things, that would be the only other one that was missing.
You know, I was just speaking to my committees that I appoint and to the commissions that council appoints. I wanted to make everyone aware that there are open seats on these things and they are your appointments to make. So I want to bring to your attention that there are empty seats for you guys to fill.
And correct me, did we discuss the liaison to the Recs Commission? Because I believe that was also a seat that McSmail.
Have not discussed that.
Okay.
You know, there's been discussion among community engagement. I don't know if it was reflected in their previous minutes or not. I think it is, that they were discussing the utility of continuing to have that kind of a role with the overlap that already existed. So I would refer you to their minutes. That wasn't something that was defined by charter or anything. That was just something that I had set up. They thought that it would be useful.
Okay.
The purposes of each committee and commission are in the onboarding folder created by our outgoing legal counsel, Rob Butler. I have it here if anyone needs it to go through what those what the purposes of those committees and commissions are. The administration is working on getting email addresses back online for all the residents of these committees and village commissions. As you know, we've been struggling with our council emails as well, but the emails for the residents that are on these committees and commissions are also being worked on. Some of these have been offline since Thanksgiving due to the rebuilding of our email system. I hope to have all those operational in the next week or so. That's it for my report. Mr. Pridnoff, would you read the administration report?
Sure. Hey, Brittany, just know there's updated ones over there that Rob made the last meeting of December, if you want to update them.
Those had,
So as of October is defunct?
yeah, those were, they had Hertz definitions.
Okay, so I will quickly run through, not actually reading my whole report here, but if you want to read the entire report, it's online. Leaf collection has been completed. For following years, because of new equipment, there will be a range of time from October 15th until December 31st. For all leaf collection, any leaves that were not picked up by then, there will be a 1 week or week and a half grace period where residents can email info@gulfmanorh.gov, let us know that your leaf pile didn't get hit. They'll take care of that, and that'll be it. We're not doing like one road per week or just a couple of roads per week. I think it was normally like 4 or 5 per week because the older equipment took so much longer. Newer equipment just allows them to do half the village in 1 week. So it's easier for them to not have to be constrained by a specific schedule where they're not able to hit piles of leaves on other streets. It's just going to be more broad. But again, if there are piles of leaves and people are not seeing them get picked up, obviously let me know or let someone in the service department know, and they will take care of it. Yosemite and Ridge Acres drives. The Ridge Acres drive was paved. That was discussed in previous meetings. Yosemite is still outstanding. We are waiting to hear back from Adlita and whoever their subcontractor is that apparently delayed that project with an enormous amount of lead time. And Yosemite Avenue is scheduled to receive cold patch repairs so service departments can plow effectively during snow events. As of now, all they can do is dump salt because there's massive holes in them, not holes, but areas where the street is just so uneven. It's not effective to plow. Mayflower Road project. Stay tuned for more updates when we have more from our engineer. We did get the sort of grant for $502,500. So Sanibel Avenue Gateways project is coming to a close. You will all notice the signals have been put up. They should be energized here soon. We don't know exactly when that will be, but Duke is supposed to come and energize and then the contractor will take down the existing lights and hopefully the existing poles. We're working on that. Police department vehicle was delivered in the end of Q4 as originally projected. There are no anticipated vehicle purchases in 26. Property taxes at the state level, that is something that we discussed briefly in finance, but the administration is still evaluating options of how we would continue to function as a village, as a police, having a police department, service department, if property taxes would be eliminated at the state level. But assuming that is not going to be eliminated at this time, the administration is recommending adopting a resolution of necessity for both 8 mil and 2 mil 8 mil road levy and 2 mil operating levy to continue to meet financial obligations and sustain high quality police service and EMS services, contracted EMS services. Happy to take any other questions on that, but we did discuss that significantly in the finance meeting. And then, as I had mentioned then as well, there was a request for proposals for waste and recycling services. All that information can be found on the website. We have reached out specifically to Republic Services, Rumpke, and Waste Management. Waste Management will not bid, and the website design is ongoing. Ms. McMail will provide updates as she works with Mr. Rosenblum to complete that project, and updates will be shared as they become available.
Mr. Kurnoff, I have one question.
Certainly.
So for the police department vehicle update, it says we're not anticipating the purchase of vehicle for this year. Do you know based off like the point system we put in, when the next vehicle looks like it would need to be purchased? Does it look like it'll be 2027 or?
We have not conducted that survey yet. That is typically a survey that we do at the end of the year, at the beginning of the year, but again, with the cyber event, certain things kind of got knocked out, but I can have that for the next council meeting. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm working on it right now, so.
Cool. Thank you.
All right, any other questions for Ms. Privet? Please report.
We'll do the monthly mayor's court report first, get that knocked out. Got total to the village, $3,374.00. Total to the state, $481.50. And total to the county, $19.50. Total revenue for the month, $3,875.00. End of the report.
Is there a motion to accept the mayor's court report?
I'll move to accept the mayor's court report.
Is there a second?
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, a couple things here, and then we'll get to you've got an annual report. I just want to go over some December stats. So it looks like we ended the month of December with 453 total calls. Looks like the majority, as usual, is quality of life, with Sanibel surprisingly being the most, we were dispatched the most, followed by, again, Vera, and then Hamilton. When we get into actual incidents, for some reason, Hamel took the lead this month, and that was predominantly 6040 Hamel Avenue, which is a set of 2 apartment buildings. Nothing significant occurred in December. We did have one incident that I'll discuss here briefly. We made it through, important to note, no vehicle thefts in the month of December.
Here we go.
Yeah, so knock on wood, hopefully that trend continues. We did have a few tampering motor vehicles, but nothing too alarming. On December 29th, we were notified by the Gulf Manor Synagogue of a bomb threat that was received via email. I was able to reach out to the JTTF and confirm that to be a hoax. We were part of a nationwide hoax that targeted several institutions. However, we still treat it as an active bomb threat and responded accordingly. Officers searched the vicinity. We had Cincinnati K-9 graciously come out and perform a sweep, and then we increased visibility around the synagogue for the days to follow. Should have got a memo, everybody should have got a memo hopefully about that, but I want to touch on that. That was the only critical thing that we had for.
Where was that shared, the memo? Because I don't think any of us got it.
I got a separate memo because I'm on a list of like Jewish Federation.
Well, I'll put it this way,
From the-
I
yeah.
asked for it to be shared, I guess it wasn't shared.
That might be, I think you gave me a letter. I don't know if I scanned, whatever, technology issues. I didn't have it.
Yeah, so
I
it
apologize.
was shared with the synagogue itself, so I know they were able to share the information, and then it was asked to be shared with the council. So I apologize. So that's all I have significantly for that. Went ahead and prepared, we've been discussing for several months, the need for better information sharing from the police department. We had a conversation back in July where I told you I would do better of getting usable information out to the council. So at that point, we started a different tracking system that tends to work out a little bit better. So what you have in front of you is the semi-annual report. It's not obviously a full annual report, but this report starts from August when we start tracking things a little differently. It talks about where we came from, basically the need for better information sharing, more transparency. It talks about what we hope to achieve in the future. Obviously, we want to strengthen community ties, we want accountability and innovation. The only thing that didn't make this report, which I'll go ahead and touch on now, overall, we had 4,655 calls for service for the year. We had 3 officer complaints. Out of those 3 complaints, 2 were unfounded, 1 was unsustained, meaning that the actual complaint was unfounded. However, the level of service is less than what I expect. So that was addressed. But I think that speaks wonders when we talk about 4,655 dealings with the public and 3 complaints. So in the report, you will see we, from August till now, we had 937 dispatches. Everything else was self-initiated. It talks about our attempts at improving, so we had 726 self-initiated activities. Out of that, 232 business checks, 155 traffic stops, 453 quality of life concerns, which is pretty much what we're seeing. If you would have asked me 10 years ago to put this together, our violent crime was way different from what we're seeing now. And we'll take that, all day long. These quality of life issues is what led us to create the community impact team, right? So as we go through these issues that we address, kind of like Chief Meter spoke about, we're seeing a lot of our issues are more social services. And historically, we would say, well, that's really not a criminal matter. We would get out of the business of that. And we would say, hey, go forth and prosper. You can try and reach out to Job and Family Services or whatever the case may be to get some help. Well, now we're kind of doubling down on that and working to see it all the way through, whether that means if you need help with mental health, we'll get you help with mental health. We're actually working on bringing mobile crisis into the building. So what that looks like for now is in February, I've been promised a peer from UC Mobile Crisis that will actually be in our building 3 days a week. That may expand to a clinician that will be on site for at least 1 day and potentially a social worker as well. But as of right now, we've been guaranteed a peer and potentially a clinician. So, and the need for that is obviously a good amount of our calls involve mental health. And if we can mitigate on the front end, we can prevent some of the future interactions and, limit these incidents where the public becomes injured, the officer becomes injured, and we get you that long-term care and assistance that you need. So just a little bit on that, more to come for that. We want to track mutual aid. Obviously, that's a big thing. So we will track officers and agencies coming into Gulf Manor. We will also track our agency going out. And mutual aid is simply, if we're tied up and we need another agency to come in, I want to know how many times it's occurring and why it's occurring. Because if it's a staffing issue, then we can reallocate staffing to cover that need. Sometimes it's unavoidable, right? And then I also want to know where my officers are going, because if it's a staffing issue on the other side, then I'll go send out that chief and say, hey, this is what we got going on. You're tying up our resources. That we'll never say no, but obviously we have a responsibility to Gulf Manor. We want to be here. So moving forward, that's kind of what you can expect here. The report covers a lot more in depth. I don't want to take up all your time. I do want to hit on something. So we always stress vacation checks. This number is very low. I know people are going out of town a lot more than I see here. So obviously that is a service that we offer. We do wish for residents to reach out when they're leaving. We will gladly keep an eye on your home. The officers will say hi to your Ring doorbell. They will text you, whatever we need to do to make you feel secure and safe while you're on vacation. And your home is the least of your worries because we've got it. Business checks, obviously I want to see those increase as much as possible. Goes until Sanibel was obviously our busiest. It's just our most populated. Wee's the same. Vera talks about that. So that's pretty much that. I mean, you guys can scan through it. If you have any questions, obviously you know where to find me and I'll answer anything I can. Goals for 26 is really just to increase our community relations. In here, there is one thing that we know where we talk about a guardian mindset. Historically, law enforcement is a warrior mindset. And a couple of years ago, I took us through a program called Police to Peace. And that's a community-oriented framework. And what that does is it really takes the police officer out of this warrior mindset and makes them a guardian of the community. It makes them more engaged with the community. It makes them more community-oriented. So that's what we'll work on a lot for 26. You've got some photos of different events that we participated in. We'll do a lot more of that. There'll be a lot more events and things to come. Just trying to hit on all this to cover the bases. Obviously, you can get with me if you need more. The court blotters. So me and Mr. Breedenoff had a discussion. I will no longer provide the citation report because tickets don't really matter to me. I think that when we look at productivity, the mayor's court blotter is what I will provide you with. that gives you obviously citations issued, and then it lets you see all the way through the process. You know, what does it look like in court? What are we seeing time and time again? If you look at the first page on there, there's a gentleman on there by the name of Ronald Bauer. Mr. Bauer is a frequent flyer of our mayor's court. You will become very familiar with Mr. Bauer's name because you will see it time and time again. And eventually, with the help of our legal services, we will work on a permanent solution to the problems that Mr. Bauer presents. But I think this gives you a very transparent look at what we're doing and how we're handling it and how it's working through the legal system. So unless there are any questions from me, I think that gives you a pretty good overhead view of what I've got for you. Like I said, I'm always glad to have conversations on the side. I just don't take up too much of your time.
I'm curious, the peer and the clinician and possible social worker, is that funding through a grant, or how are we able to access that?
I was able to just finesse that. I met with them, with the mayor, a few months ago. I said, hey, this is what we want. This is what we need. We are utilizing, I'd say somewhere around probably 15 to 17% of the social worker assigned to this area, along with District 4 and District 2. So if we can bring them here, that gets them to their services faster, and then also gives them a place to work out of the vehicle, out of the code, access to facilities, et cetera. So they were more than willing to oblige. So it doesn't cost us anything. It's something they're willing to do, and it helps us. So I'm all about it. The only thing it really costs us is an office space, which we have.
Where is that? Because I know the police department itself is bursting at the seams. So where
Yeah,
do
we
end
are.
up?
So it'll be above Firehouse, the old Firehouse, and it's used to be the Lieutenant's Officer Fire Department. So now you use space. So.
Okay, cool.
And that space actually will be shared. I have a proposal that I'm working on now for a community impact team. The name hasn't been finalized, but it'll be a part-time employee that will come in, and their job is to source, pretty much source resources for the community. Whatever that may look like, whatever that need will be, they will work with Mobile Crisis primarily, Council on Aging. There's a couple other organizations that they'll work with, and they will go out and do some of these follow-ups, because obviously we do have certain members of the community that maybe they don't want to interact with the police, right? And they don't need to for these incidents, right? So if we can send that person out in the field to solve these problems, get this information that we need to get back to us, then they get offenses and softens that impact. So more to come on that as well. Obviously, I have to get funding approval and all that, but that's kind of what we're heading towards.
I have one comment.
Yes.
I know a number of residents on Vera had reached out in the past month or so, just about a general concern about crime, stuff in the village, and looking for an increase police presence. I just want to say that I have noticed the police more on Vera the past month since that happened. So I just want to say thank you for that, and just being conscious of what the residents are asking for, and always being willing to provide it, and appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate that. It's everywhere. We've increased patrols, but I think Vera was one of the streets that I was contacted about. So that just shows the officers at least listen to what I'm saying. For Vera, I know they're doing it. I have a full faith and trust and belief that they are. As I always say, if you need me, you know how to find me, please reach out. I'm available 24/7. That is a literal statement. I will respond at 3 a.m. So please reach out if you need me. We are here for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. If you haven't met our new solicitor, Ben Yoder, here he is. Looking forward to sharing your report.
Yeah, sure. I can share my report, but first, I guess I'd like to retroactively thank you all for appointing me law director back in December. It's been a fun ride thus far. Hit the ground somewhat running. So I've met extensively with Mr. Kuzma, worked a lot with him, also worked with the mayor. Participated in an onboarding meeting with department heads, met with the magistrate, done all sorts of different things as well. Just in my head, just now I was counting it up as to how many different attorneys at our firm since December have worked with, and I think it's probably somewhere between 10 and 15 different attorneys that have been involved in matters. So my background, again, I'm Ben Mueller, I'm a partner at Bricker Graydon, our law firm has now about 320 lawyers at it. I'm the chair of our political subdivisions practice group. We've got about 20 to 25 practitioners that do nothing other than just law directorships, law, kind of political subdivisions type work. I also serve as law director for Deerfield Township in Warren County, Hamilton Township in Warren County, and then City of Franklin as well. Previously was law director for City of Middletown. Served as special zoning counsel for all sorts of local governments in Southwest and Central Ohio as well. So I look forward very much to being here and being embedded with you all. I take my role pretty seriously in terms of, I think the best type of lawyering is to learn exactly how your client or clients collectively and individually all think, what their aspirations and goal are, so that I can kind of, once I get to know you, I can kind of become your alter ego and really try to help all of you succeed at what you're wanting to do. Respectfully, unlike your acting police chief, if you text me at 3 in the morning, I will not respond to your text at 3 in the morning, but I am a normal human. I've got a cell phone. Feel free to reach out. As you'll come to learn, I represent council and all the appointed and elected officials, as well as all the employees of the village in their collective and individual capacities. So that means that I'm council's lawyer, that means I'm an individual lawyer as it relates to the village business, the chiefs, everyone around. So definitely feel free to reach out to me. I'm always available. I thought about getting together with each of you to the extent you'd be willing before the council meeting. I understand there's been some email issues and other things, but my thought is after tonight's meeting, I'll probably, to the extent any of you are interested or willing, set up meetings with each of you to just kind of get to know each other and figure out how I can best help you all. So with that, and this being my first meeting, I'll do my best to run through things and not screw it up. But as I understand it, part of my role is I draft all the legislation, and then I go over the legislative report for you all as well during that. So I did, in your packet, I think that you will receive, include our legislative agenda for that. So there's 6 items on the agenda for it, 5 of which are your first 5 resolutions for the year, and the 6th one's an ordinance. There's an additional administrative kind of housekeeping thing I'll add, this being your first meeting of the year that we can take care of as well. But the charter says that you're supposed to set your regular meeting schedule at your first January meeting, so that's something we can talk about. But if okay by you all, first I'll run through all the different legislation. We can do that. Mr. Bridnoff, feel free to, or Mayor Dinsmore as well, feel free to add your editorialization as I go over things. But the first matter, well, actually, before we do that, and learning your charter and all those different things, as I presume most of you know, but your charter has both reading requirements, legislation, ordinances are supposed to be read on 3 separate occasions, and then also it's to be read in their entirety if you really want them to be done. But those things can be waived. For the reading requirement, it takes 5 members of council in the affirmative to not require that it be read on 3 separate occasions. And then it takes 4 members if you want to have it read only in title. So before we get started, I'd ask for a motion to waive or to suspend the charter provisions pertaining to 3 readings, and also to allow for the ordinance and associated resolutions to be read in title only. Motion.
I put forth a motion to read resolution number 2026-1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 by title only, and we'll deal with suspending the suspension of the making it an emergency as we deal with each resolution. So that's my motion.
Is there a second?
A second.
And
Did you have an edit to that before we vote on this?
yeah, just I would think what you want your motion to be, and we can deal with I can tell you're pretty astute. You understand the difference of those ordinances and resolutions. So the resolutions, what your motion would be is that they just be read on by title only. Resolutions don't have to be read 3 times. And then you're saying, we'll deal with the ordinance issue later. Yeah. So it'd be to read the resolutions 1 through 5.
All of them, one motion to read all of them by title only. As we get to this.
There's a second.
There
A
was.
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No objection, I take that as unanimous. All right, thanks. So the first resolution is resolution number 2026-1. Each year, the council passes a resolution basically asking the county auditor to front load the payments that it lawfully is allowed to do to give to the village of its tax revenues that it's going to get. The county doesn't have to do that. You don't have to ask for it, but it's a discretionary thing that
nearly everyone does, just so that you can have the cash flow to pay your bills and all those things. So that's specifically what resolution 2026-1 is about.
Motion to pass resolution 2026-1.
Second.
Any discussion?
Nope.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Barron?
Yes.
Mr. Fisher?
Yes.
Mr. Chesser?
Yeah.
Dr. Fisher?
Yes.
Ms. Grimer?
Yes.
Mr. Michelson?
Yes.
Sorry, who was the second by for that?
Brittany.
Thank you.
Thanks. The second one is resolution 2026-2. It's a resolution appointing Benjamin J. Yoder Esquire and Ricker Creighton Wyatt LLP as village solicitor and fixing compensation. So obviously you all voted orally to appoint me and my law firm as the solicitor back on December 6th. After we had done that, well, we put our general terms in our submittal for the RFP. Then I worked with Mr. Fridnoff to come up with basically how that's all flushed out in the actual agreement. Mr. Fridnoff was comfortable with that. I believe Mayor Densmore is comfortable with that as well. So really what we're asking is just to retroactively have council bless that I've been functioning for all intents and purposes is the village's solicitor since at least December 6th. We'd just like to memorialize that in a written resolution.
Any questions?
Same motion.
Motion to pass 2026-3.
Second. If, no questions, no more discussion, roll call, please.
Mr. Barron?
Yes.
Mr. Fisher?
Yes.
Ms. Chesser?
Yep.
Dr. Fisher?
Yes.
Ms. Grimer?
Yes.
Mr. Michelson?
Yes.
Thank you. The third item is resolution number 2026-3. It's a resolution approving a release and settlement agreement between the Village of Gulf Manor and James Clark and authorizing the village administrator to execute the agreement and authorizing payment of reimbursement funds. So what this is basically about is there was an incident involving the police where in essence there was an auto accident where the police believed that they were at fault. Their cruiser crept a little bit too far into the intersection while one of the residents' vehicles was going by, such that it kind of scraped the side of that vehicle. Obviously, the village has insurance. That notwithstanding, there's governmental or sovereign immunity that the village enjoys, which typically means even if, they're just an average course doing their job in their cruiser, and they cause an accident, then technically speaking, the village doesn't have to accept responsibility or liability for that. So insurance position, for the most part, was, hey, I don't think this is something that you actually need to pay out for. In speaking with both the mayor and Mr. Fridnoff, the concept was, we think that we were at fault, and especially in this circumstance, it's something that we feel, as we would call it, morally obligated to do. So there's a doctrine in Ohio law called the moral obligation doctrine that allows for when a local political subdivision feels that, although legally it's not responsible for the payment of funds over something, it may feel morally obligated to do so, in which case you are lawfully affirmatively able to make a payment to someone to, in essence, do that. When we typically do those arrangements, we'll do that both as legislation that authorizes entrance into the payment of the person, but also entrance of both the council on one side and the party on the other side to enter into a settlement and release agreement that says, look, we agree that, well, we're not legally liable for this, we'd nonetheless like to do this. But in doing so, we all likewise agree that this is it, this is the end of it, this is all we're going to do. And so that's what's put forth before you. The resident got a quote as to what he thinks the amount will take to fix his vehicle. It's a nominal amount, relatively speaking. We added a little bit of additional funds that cost not to exceed the actual expenses being, X, that the village would pay out for that, just in case it comes in a little bit higher than that quote. But that's what that legislation is about.
Any questions?
I'm curious, this was not in the Village of Gulf Manor. I'm assuming there was a good reason why we were not in the village when this accident occurred, like our police officer.
Because we don't buy gas at T-Mart.
Just, we don't like T-Mart?
They have bank gas.
Oh, okay. I mean, it's good to know. Like,
Yeah.
I've gotten
yeah,
gas there. Probably won't now. Like,
Yeah,
good
they
to
have,
know.
they have bank gas.
Okay.
When the gas was even more.
And then the other question I had is just around I did read the incident report and it looked like it was just straight our fault. Which is why I'm understanding that we are offering to pay for this, even though we're not obligated to. I'm just curious if there's any like corrective coaching to that officer, because it didn't seem like we were responding to anything. We were just getting gas and,
So we don't discuss public personnel matters in open session, but the matter has been investigated and addressed.
Just curious, would we buy gas?
the UDF on
Yeah,
Woodford.
Ridge Woodford or the Shell and Ridgemont.
Just a comment or add to what Ms. Crimer asked. Just to throw it out, I think it would be a good practice in general, not any specific person or any specific personnel, but I think in general, if there are accidents where we're at fault, I think it might be just good practice to offer, to encourage those employees just to go through some sort of, defensive driving course or driving safety course, some nominal course, just to, everyone, needs a refresher and, public employees aren't exempt from that. So I just think it's just be good in general.
Any other questions or comments?
Can I ask what the amount is?
Report?
3,500, it's in the,
The amount was,
The quote is just over 3,000, which includes tax. Obviously, we don't pay tax. And then the total is 3,500 is what's authorized.
not to exceed 3,500.
What was the question? Are we getting 3,500?
Yeah.
so it's, the way in which it's structured is we're going to pay them the actual cost of the repairs in an amount not to exceed 3,500. So if it comes in, say, 3,150, we'll pay them 3,150, but this would enable us to pay them up to a maximum of $3,500.
What's the reason not to go through an insurance claim for it, just because that raises the rates, or is
Because we're not technically liable.
most
As
of the
a
insurance
village.
company would not pay because of the liability?
We don't technically have to, but because we hit an actual Gulf Manor resident and it was our fault, we feel morally obligated. So that's why it's written in the way it is.
And there can be times where you might want to push back on that. This is more of a policy thing than just a legal thing. And insurance companies are aware of this. I was talking earlier with the council member about it. There's instances where, say, a fire truck on call runs and completely totals a vehicle. In that case, do you want to reimburse them for that vehicle or not? This is a smaller amount, and other times it's much greater amounts.
Right.
That's why there's also uninsured or underinsured motor covers, which says, okay, we're not liable, but hey, sorry, we totaled our fire truck totaled your vehicle, but go contact your insurance. Maybe that's the right call in some situations versus others. Do you want to submit a claim and it could raise your rates or not?
So the village's
Given
insurance
us-
would not cover this, but perhaps the motorist.
We could fight over it, but most likely not. And given the amount in dispute, you're going to pay, frankly, be more fighting over it than you are going to over just dealing with the alternative.
Any other discussion?
No.
We have a first and second?
We do not. Waiting for a motion to pass.
I move to pass resolution 2026-3.
Is there a second? Dr. Fisher seconds. Without any further discussion, roll call please.
Mr. Barron?
Yes.
Mr. Fisher?
Yes.
Ms. Chesser?
Yeah.
Dr. Fisher? Ms. Crimer?
Yes.
Mr. Michelson?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. So the fourth and fifth resolutions, I'll just read simultaneously. Resolution 2020, so back to back, we'll say that. Resolution number 2026-4 is a resolution of necessity to levy a renewal tax in excess of the 10 mil levy. And then likewise, resolution number 2026-5 is also a resolution of necessity to levy a renewal tax in excess of the 10 mil limitations. So what these, although titled the same, the body of them is slightly different in that they're both dealing with renewal levies. The first one, which is resolution number 4, is dealing with the current expenses levy. That levy is going to be up for renewal. I worked with Mr. Fidnoff to identify your levy schedule for all of your different levies. And with that, we've obviously identified that both your current expenses and then resolution 2026-5 dealing with your streets and roads levy, that those are coming due. So resolution is, when you go to either initiate or renew a levy, the process by which it works is basically, it's all by statutes. And it basically is, first you pass a resolution of necessity, where you basically declare, hey, it's a necessity, we need this money, this is how much we would like to propose being on the ballot, the number of mills that we would do. Once you pass that, that then goes to the auditor then basically quantifies it and says, yep, that's exactly how much that will generate. It's kind of a perfunctory thing that's done. They then certify the amounts of those levies and send it back to you. And then you see, yep, we agree with you, auditor, that's exactly how much that will generate, we're all on the same page. And then you pass what's called a resolution to proceed. That second resolution to proceed, is what actually initiates formally it being put on the ballot. So that's fundamentally the structure. Again, these are both renewal levies that are already on the books, not asking for any increase, decrease, et cetera. It's just renewal of both your current expense levy and then your streets and road levies. So sequentially, I'd ask the motion to approve resolution number 2026-4, which deals with your current expenses levy.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. Are there, thank you, Mr. Grant. Are there any questions of Mr. Yoder on this? Any discussion needed? All right, I'll ask for roll.
Mr. Barron?
Yes.
Mr. Fisher?
Yes.
Ms. Chesser?
Yep.
Dr. Fisher?
Yep.
Ms. Grimer?
Yes.
Mr. Michelson?
Yes. Motion passes. Thank you.
And then again, just the fifth one is 2026-5. It's the same exact thing, except dealing with your streets and road levy.
Is there a motion?
Pass resolution 2026-5.
Mr. Mickelson, is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Kramer. Any questions or further discussion? If not, ask for roll.
Mr. Barron?
Yes.
Mr. Fisher?
Yes.
Ms. Chesser?
Yep.
Dr. Fisher? Ms. Grimer?
Yes.
Mr. Michelson?
Yes. Motion passes. Thank you.
Great, and then moving to the ordinance section, again, this is what we were talking about earlier, ordinances being different from resolutions. Ordinance require both 3 readings and that they be read their total unless both the 3 reading requirement and the requirement that it be read in total is waived by council. So I first ask for a motion to waive the 3 readings requirement and allow for the one ordinance to be read by title only.
Is there such a motion for ordinance 2026-1?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Excellent. Any discussion or questions concerning this? Or any further description? No?
Is there, what's the benefit of establishing this fund versus just rolling out of our?
First, let's read it.
So I think what we're getting at is, first is, do you want to waive the requirement without first reading the substance?
Sure.
Although happy to read all
All in favor?
Aye.
I apologize. Who was the motion and second by?
I made the motion. I don't know who seconded. Zach?
And that was to read by title only and suspend rules?
Yes.
Okay. Tracking.
All right. And now getting to your point, Councilmember, is it Michelson or Mickelson? Michelson. I'll learn this stuff. I'll get it straight eventually. Thank you. But yeah, this is ordinance number 2026-1. It's an ordinance establishing a termination benefits fund for the purpose of paying termination benefits or paying salaries when the number of pay periods exceeds the usual and customary for a year and authorizing a transfer of such fund. So what this is getting at is, employees accrue PTO and benefits and different things that they're lawfully entitled to. When employees separate from the village, they're, depending on the circumstances, oftentimes entitled to a payout of those benefits. So from an auditing perspective, it can be kind of difficult because the village has to appropriate all those things. They don't know when this situation will necessarily always occur. So you don't have to do anything like this, but from an auditing and accounting perspective, this gives some flexibility to the fiscal officer to, build up a reserve fund for when these kind of things happen. It also is helpful, such as an experience that the village literally just had this year, which is you had 2025 employee salaries that ended up needing to be paid out. There was one additional pay period that last year that wasn't otherwise contemplated for. This is a great situation where you can hold those funds, and then if you have something like that, you can transfer them back to the general and pay that out. I'm just the legal guy. I'm not here to try to encourage policy, but effectively, that's what this legal concept and this legal tool would allow you to do if you so choose.
So moving monies into this fund, it won't like encumber them where we won't be able to move it out again if we.
I was just dealing with this with a different client on a different matter, but generally speaking, if you think of it almost like your general fund and it being like a creek, and then flowing down from the general fund or special funds or special purpose funds, it's very easy to move general funds into special funds. It's very hard to move special funds back into your general fund, with really two exceptions, this being one of them. So it's a great tool to use to provide you added flexibility. That doesn't change the amount that's overall encumbered or appropriated or what your budget is. It just gives you more tools and flexibility in your toolbox when you have experiences where, oh geez, we need to pay this employee out.
I just want to make sure, because I know we have a very tight budget as it begins with,
Yeah.
and money isn't always available. I just want to make sure
Yeah.
money doesn't get stuck somewhere where we can't. touch it.
Yeah, it's not, I would think of it not as being a budget thing. It's more of being a accounting thing, but it preserves its maximal flexibility to be able to do what needs to be done.
Great.
I'm curious where the figure of 294,000 came from.
So what I did is I went through all of the potential liabilities based
Perfect.
on this is what we.
No, but I know that's
Right.
what I was like,
So
I have guessed that you did not make up this number and you did what
No,
I've asked you to do. Just trying to.
So what
Right.
I did is
Stop that.
I projected out 5 years, and then I
Right.
actually had to project out 5 more years just for the sick time, because
Yep.
that does roll over. That's the only thing that rolls over effectively.
Right.
And so I took the combination of not wages, of holiday sick, personal, and vacation time for the entire year, and then I took the expected sick time that would roll over for that.
Mhm.
The recommendation based on, I apologize, what's her name? Is it Beverly?
That was Becky.
That was Becky, sorry.
15 and
I'm
13.
still learning the teams. So Becky recommended to project out 5 years.
Yeah.
And include that. So I didn't think it was necessary to include 5 years for all funds, since the only thing that actually rolls
Right.
over is the vacation up to 120 hours.
Right.
So I included the 120 hours of vacation max rollover. I included the entire holiday sick personal vacation of that year, and then I projected out 5 years on sick time. And so for the first year, it recommends 294, 994, 32. I didn't give the other years, but it goes up between, this looks like it goes up about 18,000. The following year goes up about 16,000. I mean, it
Right.
fluctuates, but it's about 16,000.
But you're projecting our potential liabilities for each
Correct.
of those.
This is
Great,
all just to
perfect.
protect that money and
Got it.
ensure that we are solvent for all of those potential payouts. And then, of course, if we run into 2 employees with large vacation banks or large sick banks that need to be paid out at the end of the year, this would be where it comes from.
Right.
And then when appropriations are done at the beginning of the next year, there would be a recommendation for, this is how much this fund needs to start with.
Mhm.
So
Perfect.
it's to try and make it easier for us to see this money, rather than it's in November and now someone's retiring, let's amend appropriations again.
Thank you.
All those in favor of waiving the rules to expedite the passage of this?
Oh, that part you already did. This is the.
Did we all say aye? Everybody?
I
I
believe
thought we
so.
just sent the motion.
I think you had us discuss after we did the first and second on reading by title only and waiving the 3 readings
Oh, you're
instead of,
You guys didn't vote.
no, he never had us do it full vote. He
No,
asked
No,
us
no, it's
to,
fine, because
Oh,
there
the
was a
mayor.
question before we agreed to waive the rules. what this was
Next
about.
time I'll do it better. We'll just vote on waiving and then we'll talk substantively. My apologies.
So all those in favor?
I,
So without objection, I think that is unanimous. Is there a motion to pass?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Presuming no further discussion, are there any questions on this? Roll call, please.
Mr. Barron?
Yes.
Mr. Fisher?
Yes.
Ms. Chesser?
Yeah.
Dr. Fisher?
Yes.
Ms. Kramer?
Yes.
Mr. Michelson?
Yes.
Thanks. And the last thing is just what I kind of introed with as well as both your charter and Ohio law states that at the first council meeting of the year, you'll set your regular meeting schedule. And I'll try to use some of these as teaching moments for everyone. There's 3 types of meetings the public bodies can have under Ohio law. There's regular, special, or emergency meetings. Regular meetings are what modern day times people would say as being recurring meetings. And it's just, the first and third, whatever we meet at this time, be here, be square. All that you have to do for regular meetings is at that first meeting of the year, announce in the public meeting when you're going to be doing that, advertise that once, and then conceptually the public knows, hey, we're gonna have regular meetings. Either be square if you care about anything that the village might do. And then at those regular meetings, as you saw tonight, there was items that were added, executive sessions, tweaking those agendas. You can always do that. That's why that first type, again, regular meetings. And then there's special meetings. Those are meetings that aren't recurring meetings like the name suggests, that basically require 24 hours advance notice to the public that you're gonna have a special meeting. And in that advance notice that you're gonna do, you have to state specifically what you're going to discuss at the meeting with sufficient particularity where the public can know what it is generally that you're gonna be wanting to going to discuss. That way they can know whether to come or not. Then when you're at the meeting, you actually have to stick to only that which was included in the special meeting notice. And then third and lastly is emergency meetings. That's truly where, Rome is burning type things, where the only legal notice that's required is however much legal notice can be given the situation. So contextually, what you're being asked to do is state, and again, this is a long-winded way, I would think in future years, and especially on here, it's just something you can kind of do perfunctorily, but is when you want your regular meetings to be, and I know there was some influx, but we're here at least on the 3rd Tuesday of the month at 7 p.m. I'm not sure if that's when you want to have your regular meetings, or are there 2 meetings per month and it's the 1st and 3rd, but whatever it is, just it's best to do that now.
Did we approve we shared the.
Right, so the schedule was
December,
approved in, I believe it was October already, but I guess an appropriate motion would be to affirm the schedule that was
Right.
previously approved.
Yep.
And that can be found in the reports on the website. That can be found on the reports page on, I believe it was the October meeting. Give me 1 second, I will. Schedule. Yeah, that was on the October 27th meeting.
Yep.
So that.
Yeah, just where the charter says, first meeting, thou shalt.
Right, so that
Go
would,
ahead.
I guess an motion to affirm would be appropriate?
Yep.
Okay.
Is there such a motion? To affirm our schedule for the year.
In which
As
is what?
stated in,
Motion to affirm the meeting schedule as announced at the October 27th, 2025 meeting of the third Tuesday of the month for council and finance. First Tuesday of the month is executive engagement, except for the summer schedule, which is June, July, and August, where all meetings will take place on the, it looks like, third Tuesday of the month, with meetings starting at 6:30, 7, 7:30, and then the December meeting, which would only take place on the first Tuesday. So, as I said,
Everybody got that one? Somebody-
Eric, on the council packets, can you put a link there for the department and administrative
I'm
reports?
so happy to. You want me to put that on the website or just on the minutes? How do you want me to put that?
Both, please, because right now, like, I didn't know you actually had a written administrator's report, and so I went all the way back until like summer, and then found a link to the department reports. But it's not on there for me.
It's on the top, yeah.
Where? You moved the link, I see. Okay, never mind. You don't need to do anything other than tell me where you put it. Got it.
Yes, I am trying not to change anything, although there are those who are trying to change our website and make it,
Yeah, we're
easier to
working
find
on
stuff.
that.
More
But until
user-friendly.
then, I'm trying not to change anything, make it as easy as possible for people to find information in places they recognize.
Perfect. All right, I am now following you, and yeah, go on. Thank you.
So do we have a motion to, a second to affirm? You already did the first, we have a second to affirm.
Second.
And who was the first? Was it David?
I don't think anyone made a motion.
Okay,
I will make a
sorry.
motion.
Ms. Kramer? All right, we have Dr. Fisher, a second.
My only discussion is my goal is to have at maximum one emergency meeting this year.
I've never had an emergency meeting in my entire career.
Welcome to Golf Manor.
I've been other places. I'll be impressed.
Welcome to Golf Manor. Zach just cursed us.
Right.
If there is no further discussion, I'll ask for a roll call. Roll call, please.
Mr. Barron?
Yes.
Mr. Fisher?
Yes.
Ms. Chesser?
Yep.
Dr. Fisher?
Yep.
Ms. Primer?
Yes.
Mr. Michelson?
Yes.
Sorry to put you through those motions. That concludes the legal report.
Excellent. Ms. Kramer, do you have an executive committee report?
Nope, executive committee has not met since our last council meeting.
Excellent. Mr. Michelson, do you have a finance committee report?
No, because he's not chair. You just made him chair, so it would be David giving the report.
Go for it.
No report. Thank you, Mr. David.
Council met tonight, we had, we recommended to pass the October and November finance packets. And therefore, I put forth a motion to pass the October and November finance packets as posted online.
Excellent. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion needed? Roll call, please.
Mr. Barron?
Yes.
Mr. Fisher?
Yes.
Ms. Chesser?
Yeah.
Dr. Fisher?
Yep.
Ms. Primer?
Yes.
Mr. Michelson?
Yes.
And the last item was that we have discussion of the RFP for the waste and recycling, and we'll have updates to be coming at next meeting in the report.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Fisher.
Huh?
No other questions, then is there a planning commission report? See that the planning commission did not meet in January, and the next scheduled meeting pending new business is February 2nd at 7 p.m. Any other reports for planning commission? All right, community engagement. Let's see. Is there anyone prepared to give a report on community engagement?
We didn't have a meeting in December. Is there a We Thrive report?
We finished on the We Thrive, we finished class in December. I think we only had 3 people to finish the class, so that's, yes, not much money. And we don't have any classes coming up anytime soon. We was wondering when the next pantry box is gonna be put up.
That's on me. I have not worked on connecting with Matt Scott. I had shared at our previous council meeting, or maybe it was the council meeting before, that out of respect for his property, I was going to show him where we were planning on putting it on his property, just allow him to have his eyes.
Where is that at?
So it's on the north side of Los Angelesville, where the park bench is, just
Across from T-Mart?
correct.
Okay.
Yes, yes. So how that worked is I reached out to him. He said, yes, he'd be willing to go and look at the spot with me. I reached out to him again, didn't get a call back, and have not followed back up again on that.
This is gonna be on his side of the property.
Correct.
Are we gonna
In
get
our-
any sort of contract?
It's in my understanding from our previous council, we can.
It's not on private property,
Yeah.
but it is in front of his business, which is why we gave him the courtesy of having a conversation.
Oh.
All right, does that sufficiently answer your question? So,
Mhm.
okay. And let's see, so any recreation commission reports?
No recreation.
I know that I believe they did not have quorum, is that correct, at the previous meeting? I could be wrong on that. The way, here's some announcements. If you have additional announcements, let me know. The next community engagement meeting will be Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026 at 6 p.m. The next executive committee meeting will be Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026 at 7 p.m. Finance committee, Tuesday, February 17th at 6:30 p.m. I'm noticing that there's a typo there. It says 2025 on the next two items. That should read 2026. I'll just read that into the record. So full council meeting is Tuesday, February 17th, 2026 at 7 p.m.
That is President's Day. Is the village building closed?
On the 17th?
The President's Day, yeah.
Isn't that on the 16th?
On the,
Oh, it's
on the public calendar you have on the website, it says the 17th is President's Day.
Yeah, I don't know why it shows up like that because it's technically the 16th.
Yeah, it
Okay.
is.
It'd be Monday.
Yeah, I'm not
Just
sure
looking at
why
your
it shows up
calendar.
like that. I
There it
did
is
want
right
to
there.
mention also if it's possible to call a special meeting of council for February 3rd at 6:45 again to discuss the resolutions to proceed, is that correct? So if that is agreeable to council to put that 15 minutes before the executive
On the 3rd?
on the 3rd.
So we will put that into the minutes, the announcements as well.
And the reason for doing that is there's just kind of a timeline that happens with, okay, you gotta do your resolution of necessity. They gotta get it back to you within this period, pay the auditor, and then within so many numbers a day, you then have to do it. So it's a little bit of a time crunch. It works out well with the executive committee.
So roughly what time are we calling that for?
6:45, if that's
6:40, I thought you,
6:40. Well, 6 o'clock is the community engagement, 7 o'clock is
Okay.
executive. So the request would be to do it 15 minutes before executive to not take up too much of community engagement's time.
So those council meetings will take place in council chambers. The next item on our agenda is our executive session. Just for those that aren't clear on this, we'll ask that our visitors step out while we go into executive session. Is there a motion to enter executive session for purposes allowed under ORC 121.22 G1 and G2, specifically for the appointment, employment, and compensation of a public employee or official, as well as G2 pending legislation? Litigation. What did I say? Legislation?
Yeah.
Pending litigation.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Sorry. Okay. Mr. Barron?
Yes.
Mr. Fisher?
Yes.
Ms. Chesser?
Yep.
Dr. Fisher?
Yep.
Ms. Griner?
yes.
Mr. Michelson?
Yeah.
Excellent. Get up and close the door. I'm going to suggest that we start with the G1 topic. And for that, I would ask that Eric leave for that time, and then we'll have him come back for the G2 part, which is the pending litigation. So for the conversation that we're having on appointment, employment, and compensation of a public employee.
All right.
And the interim police chief, ask him to stay or leave.
Correct, yes. I wasn't, which?
I don't know, I asked him.
Great, yes. I'm going to close the door.
Shall I stay or shall I?
I think you're supposed to leave, he just didn't give us a
Okay.
clear answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That would be my guess.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And Zach, to answer your question, every employee that is involved in a non-preventable accident, they are sent to remedial timing.
Great.
And to answer your question, every employee that is involved in a preventable accident, which is deemed preventable, they are disciplined. Non-preventable, which obviously speaks for itself, it depends on the situation.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks. I just tell him not to leave.
So it's rowdy.
My
Okay,
protection.
give me back to where I'm supposed to be.
I don't think we're
All
supposed to be anywhere because he's gonna tell us what we're supposed to talk about.
I've consulted with our attorney on this and will defer to him. If you have any questions, though, please, if you have any questions.
Sorry, was the live?
That's what I do, is pull the cord.
I was thinking about that, and then I realized